Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR HaLacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Monday, April 1st, 25th day of Adar Sheni. Now we're going to talk about how to eat the maror at your Seder. First and foremost, you do not lean when eating the maror. We only lean to the left for things like matzah, where we want to show nobility, freedom, and all that. And that's not the image that we're showing when we're eating the bitter herbs. So you do not lean at all while eating the bitter herbs. Okay, you actually don't make a bracha of borei pri hadama before you eat the bitter herbs at the Seder. That might seem strange to you, but the actual reason for that is because you have already made a borei pri hadama way back when you ate the karpas. And it is appropriate back when you eat the karpas nearer to the beginning of the Seder that you think that the bracha of borei pri hadama that you're making then on the potato or parsley or celery or whatever you're using, that the bracha of borei pri hadama that you're making then is also aimed for the maror, the bitter herbs that you're going to eat later in the Seder. For that reason, you should only have a small piece of the karpas so that you won't require a borei nefashos at the end of it, so that the eating of that karpas won't be considered completed, and that way the bracha on the karpas can then later apply to eating the bitter herbs. Now, before you eat the bitter herbs, you do dip them in charoses. Charoses is symbolic of the mortar that was used in between the bricks for all the stuff that the Jews built in Egypt. It's made of some very delicious foods like nuts and apples and wine, and it actually tastes pretty good. So after you dip the bitter herbs in the maror, I'm laughing because you then must shake off the charoses. There's no cheating here and putting a whole lot of charoses on top of your bitter herbs so that they taste much more delicious when you eat them. You're actually supposed to shake off the maror from the charoses from the bitter herbs before you actually eat it. So what are you dipping it for? Because we still want to give a symbol that the bitter herbs are dipped in the mortar of the brick that was used. And there's some mystical thing that's hard to understand, which is that there is a dangerous substance in the bitter herbs called kappa, and somehow dipping it in the charoses nullifies that. We don't really understand how that works, but that's one of the reasons that we dip it in there. But you do not eat your maror with the charoses all over it at all, because you want to have just the straight taste of bitter herbs in your mouth when you eat the bitter herbs. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.